So, welcome back to another edition of Help on Demand Live. We talked a while back with Jim Neumeier, who is the CEO of Sieveking, and there was so much information that Chad and I had talked about that we wanted him to come back and continue that discussion. So, Jim, welcome back.
Jim, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How do you think about sales? How does that connect with marketing, and what's kind of your sales process given your unique industry?
Yeah, so we have sales reps, multifaceted there too. We have sales reps out in our geography, okay, that will go as far as 3 hours out, divided up geography there. We get a tremendous amount of calls on a daily basis. We're adding new customers all the time. Now, those can be from our traditional sales team out and about. We have inside outbound sales that really focuses, that focus is based upon customers we used to have and we don't know why we lost them. So reaching out and trying to rekindle that. Number two, it's the current customers that we have that maybe aren't buying everything from us, right? And then number three, the third leg of that stool is the customers that we really want. We want to attack them. We know they have somebody else's big tanks on their lot. They're buying, I'll follow somebody else's competitor fuel truck around to get to know where their customers are. So we can do that. Our drivers, I would say our truck drivers, they're the tip of the spear when it comes to sales for us. When I bought the company, we upgraded trucks. They look pretty sexy going down the road. They're head turners. And those drivers converted from frumpy uniforms to, like race car drivers. We want them to be proud of the hats they wear and their uniforms and the functionality of them and their Carhartts, and everybody's jealous. And on their shirts, they have the logo here, but on this side they have their name and it says serving since whatever year, and we have guys that have been here for 45 years and everywhere between 1 year and that. So our drivers are the tip of the spear. They know when they're driving down the road, if they see somebody else's tank, call us and let us know. If they talk to our customers and they have an issue, well, they immediately call service and get something scheduled. They have an additional need or a referral. They're involved in that. Our customers know if they give us a referral that we're going to incentivize them for that. Multi levels, right? And we're big time into face-to-face conversations. If you're going out to a big trucking company, most of them you can walk in the back door. Our market is anybody with a big bay door, right? If you're driving down the street and you see a big bay door, guarantee you there's a truck there, and there's somebody's going to need fuel or lubricants, and so it's easy. It's not trying to sell rockets, which we've done. So,
just a little more, so Help on Demand, for example, we can bring the consumers and connect them with different products and services 24/7 live on demand anywhere in the world. The one thing that I'm just curious because, with our technology, we can, in a sense, Chad, dispatch tow trucks, if we needed to, and those kind of things. In your world, when you have the trucks around, how does that technology in your world work as far as getting them to where they're supposed to be, all those kind of things? Is it a standard technology everybody uses, or how do you do that?
So just give you an example. So if someone calls in, every day we have a boatload of customers and routes 7 days a week that are standard, right? That our drivers know, here's my route, here's how I'm going to deliver for, okay? In addition to that, we get call-ins, or we got other customers that say, hey, you just delivered 10,000 gallons. I'm out. I need another 10, whatever the case is. So we get a combination of those things. All that funnels into our dispatch area. We've installed, again, we have the trackers on our trucks. So We have digital signage in our dispatch area, monitors up where they can track real time where drivers are. They can compare that to where they've been and where they're going. So efficiency of routes. And if there's an additional need, somebody to call in, dispatch will go ahead and analyze, what routes are left, what trucks are in what location. If they may have some product that meets that need on their truck, then they'll dispatch that accordingly. I would tell you that, again, the area of our business that's growing a ton right now is transport business. And we've begun delivering to Love's truck stops because they don't have enough trucks and drivers. We partnered just this week with Keenan Advantage, which is the nation's largest transport company, coast to coast. We partner with them because they have too many loads and not enough drivers. And so that dispatch role is becoming harder and harder to do. We're looking at hiring more dispatchers because it's a 24/7 job. And so having something for us to maybe the same call comes in, but we have some help, first line of dispatch, let's say, maybe it's help on demand that helps our customers get connected and convert that to a load and a customer as quickly as possible. That would be great.
Yeah, interesting.
I guess in your world, I mean, when I think of fuel, everybody's going out searching for the lowest, price per gallon as a consumer. And in your world, you're buying, I assume, bulk fuel, and you're buying it at a certain price. So when you think of pricing and all that kind of stuff, I guess I'm curious, and you probably too are, Chad, of, how do you, I would assume your competitors in a sense have the same options, right? So they can buy low, maybe other times they have to buy high. How do you stay competitive as an organization when fuel costs basically are kind of the same? Maybe it's a misconception that we have of everything being the same, but what value add or what other things do you do when at the end of the day, maybe the price per gallon is about the same that you and your competitors are purchasing?
Yeah. So history, before I bought the company, what would happen is the previous ownership would wait until 5:00 in an afternoon, and they would look at all the terminals. So there are 11 terminals in the immediate St. Louis area where fuel, and when you fly over in an airplane, you see all those big white tanks. That's fuel that's flowed in, and that's a distribution point for that metropolitan area, okay, for that geographic area. So there's 11 of those, and you can get carded, have your drivers carded at each one of them so that they could pull product, okay? Previous ownership would wait until 5:00 in the afternoon and say, hey, which of those 11 has the lowest price? And they'd tell the drivers from that point on overnight and in through the next day, where are you going to buy fuel, right? Sounds pretty simple, but what would happen is fuel prices change every minute of every day. We'll experience 9-cent increases in a day. We'll experience 9-cent decreases in a day. And maybe more than that, fluctuating back and forth. So what happens is if they took that approach of buying it, locking in, here's where you're going from 5:00 until 5:00, that's fine. They have all the drivers waiting there at these racks, at these terminals. Driver will wait in line as much as 2 hours. If you don't have a contract to lock up the allocation for fuel that you need, that driver could wait there and finally get up to the rack to fill his truck up, and they'd say, sorry, we're out. So he wasted that amount of time plus the money. Now we have to call around and see who else has allocation, send them there. You can eat up a bunch of time. So keep in mind that drivers are limited by DOT standards to 60 hours of driving in a week, and we have drivers doing 12 and 14-hour days. Okay. So if they're waiting in line for 2 and 3 hours, you want to stab yourself in the head with a knife. But anyway, so what I started doing is we buy fuel on the Argus market, the Gulf market. We do fixed contracts and index contracts. And basically what that does is at any point in time, we'll lock up allocation and fuel price. Now we're locked up well through October. Okay. So we will buy at a price we believe is competitive. Give you an example. Yesterday we bought fuel, and the difference between yesterday and today is we made another 9 cents a gallon. If you take that times 20 million gallons, that's quite a bit. And so you have to play it. Sometimes you buy less or make less, and sometimes you make more. That's why we don't lock in any contract more than, at all sum of contracts more than 51% of our expected gallons. But we do lock in. So when our drivers show up, they have allocation. They're not going to be turned away. We have a combination of pricing. We'll also do the same thing for our customers. We have customers that will fill 1 million gallons a year for. And so we'll go to them and say, hey, considering the markets, you want to lock in your allocation, right, for that. And so you can budget. They don't care if the price goes up. They just want to be able to budget and know what that is. Okay. And so that in mind, we buy from those terminals every night and every day, several times a day. We fill up our tank farm here, which is, we have 46 bulk tanks here. The largest ones are 20,000 gallons. The smallest are 10. We fill them up every night and we drain them every day. So it's pretty amazing. So to answer your question, pricing, it's not the same for everyone, because the more you buy, the more you can go to those wholesalers, so to speak, and you can play hardball with them. There are also some tax credits they call RINs. In some cases, I'll say it's kind of like that movie with Kevin Costner and the pro football team where he is negotiating at the end and says, I want this quarterback and I want this. And then the guy agrees to that. And then you add something else to the mix. And pretty soon he's complaining because he doesn't have enough money to buy his kids iPads because you beat him up on margin. But we do that a lot. Our lead dispatcher, Sam, is the one in charge of negotiating contracts and locking up fuel and knowing where we are. It's a multifaceted thing. We also have software that tracks the markets on a minutely basis. So we know what the price is doing. We know what allocation we have. If we're going to lock in contracts, then all that comes in play. I'm not a big one to lock in a fixed forward contract because I'd rather it be indexed, kind of a variable rate, right? And we usually don't get burned too bad on that. So long-winded answer. Everybody doesn't play by the same rules. Everybody doesn't have the same opportunity for pricing and purchasing and allocation and delivery. How you pay your bills, how much you use, and how much you're going to use. Those are big leverage tools.
Yeah. It was interesting. You just said at the end, you don't do a lot of, I think I heard you say you don't do a lot of futures contracts. And as you were telling the pricing story for the last few minutes, I was thinking about Southwest and the way they purchased jet fuel a few years ago. If you remember, the big price spiked and they felt good about it because they had great futures. So it sounds like it differs from that a little bit though. Yours is more variable and short term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. Keep in mind here's a cool thing. When you buy fuel like us, when we buy fuel, we can lock in an indexed contract, whatever the rate is and so on, and the quantity. And we buy in 84,000 gallon increments. Okay. When you do that, you can lock it in. I could say I want 84,000 gallons every week for 3 months.
Yeah.
I don't pay for it until it goes into our driver's truck. Okay. So I locked up that allocation, but I don't have to pay for it in advance. The terms are 3 days after you pump it off from the rack. That's when you pay for it.
Okay.
And it comes out ACH, so you better be selling and you better be collecting from your customers. So we do futures in locking in contracts, but we don't do futures in paying advance for that.
I wanted to go back kind of in the technology world, since that we live and breathe that. Some days good, some days bad, right? But anything that keeps you kind of up at night, I know there's lots of things that do, but what would be something you wish technology could kind of solve for you or take over for you or lessen the load, those kind of things? Is there any one thing out there that you can think of that would be, man, if this company could do this through technology, that would give me more hours per day, or, whatever it might be?
Mm-hmm. So first thing is I want to find a way to deliver fuel virtually.
Good luck on that one.
People say, hey, yeah, they say, I didn't see your truck today. Oh, that's because we hit a button and your tank is full. I'd love to have that happen. That'd be awesome. For me, the topic we talked about, the dispatch, right? Because it's a science, but it's not. It's still got a lot of manualness to it. You have personalities of drivers and different speeds that people work at. That scheduling, that dispatch, that a huge storm came through and now we have 500 generator fills, right, for hospitals and all that stuff. Those things, just like knowing the future would be great. But I think the dispatch thing is a part of it. The other challenge for me is we still, we rely on people to get the job done. And I don't know if there's a way to get by that. We've tried to create a culture here. We have fun, we get goofy. Some days we go through the valley of the shadow of death, and then all of a sudden everything's puppy dogs and rainbows. Just leading people through that, keeping them positive, eliminates employee issues, right? People love to come to work. They love what they do. Then the physical problems and so on kind of go away. If they're happy and their families are happy with where they are, then things are good at home and they can come to work and put that at ease. But technology side, we have to continue moving forward. I mentioned the social media thing. There's additional technology we need on our trucks. I think expanding our web presence. You talked about help on demand. I mean, I would imagine some sort of API or something that would link a service like yours to our website and our company and our dispatch. That'd be super cool.
Yeah, we do that in other cases where usually you'll never see help on demand on somebody's website, because we're always behind the scenes. But when you look at some of our other clients and excuse me, other potential clients, we're really making that connection for a product or service to an expert, and we're doing it so quickly.
Yep. Well, you've mentioned help on demand a couple of times. I'll set up a call with you here at the end of the week, Jim, and we can talk about getting you on board. So anyway, yeah. So, but I do want to go back to what you said. We asked about technology, but as a kind of a true CEO, you mentioned people multiple times in there, right? You talked about culture. You talked about all kinds of important factors that are human, and I think good technology is the kind that enables people to do their job better. So I guess it's no wonder you guys have been so successful with that focus on people and culture.
I would tell you it hasn't been like that. You guys know when you're with an organization and you have awesome culture, you can't imagine it not being that way. When I bought the company, we were about to have a mass exodus of drivers, veteran drivers. Our trucks were old, roof was falling off the building, there were weeds growing all the way around, just everything. It was a dingy environment. If you come in here today, we celebrate our legacy with antique gas pumps and behind glass and, lot of historic things that remind people of the energy of the past and the energy of the future, right? Digital signage everywhere. People walk in here and they go, holy crap, this is cool. And so that helps. We've worked 2 years solid on building the relationship with our employees and creating a great environment. We've done that. I have what I call Sieveking circle ups, which are employee meetings. I do town hall meetings with peer groups. So we'll set coolers of water, soda, and beer out in the warehouse, and everybody sits around and they can tell me what their feelings are, their ideas are. That's a cool thing. And they didn't always feel like they could do that. I can get calls 24/7 from employees that have an idea or a challenge or whatever it is. And just being accessible for them means a lot. We've even, 5 days after I bought the company, we rekindled Sieveking family barbecues and open houses, things where people, customers, and families can come and just hang out and be goofy and get to know the people here. I think all of that's part of it. And then I think the biggest part is do what you say you're going to do. And we promised technology. We promised, new resources here, all the way to April 1. So we're a union shop, and our drivers are warehouse personnel, mechanics, so on. Those are all union. And I don't care who you talk to about union. It usually makes people pucker when they're talking about union negotiations. And April 1, our collective bargaining agreement was coming due and going to expire. And during that time, our three biggest competitors here in St. Louis, who are also union, one of them went on strike because they couldn't reach an agreement. The other two were in a pretty rocky spot. And so you can imagine when I went into union negotiations with my team of legal folks, the expectation was that it wasn't going to go well. The cool thing was we spent about 3 months before that behind the scenes preparing. I did one-on-ones with all our union folks. We've accomplished a lot. I've listened a lot. And so we went into that meeting, and instead of it taking a couple of weeks as planned, we reached an agreement in 4 hours, and the union members of our team ratified it 100%. It's the first time in St. Louis union history that happened. The week after we reached that agreement, it's a 5-year agreement, by the way. Week after we reached that agreement, I got a couple calls from a couple of the other CEOs saying I should have bounced ideas off of them first, which is, no, sorry, bullshit filter's full there. I said, well, no, I didn't do that. We're doing it for the best of our people and our customers. Week after that, I gave everybody 50 cent an hour raise just because they responded. They were delivering at a higher level. Didn't have to do that either. It's not all about money, but it is about how you care for your people and provide a stable environment and a future that they can see. So yeah, super proud of that. That's awesome. So lots of things contribute to culture. It's not always what you say, it's what you do and how you can rinse and repeat that. And I bought the company, they made the announcement and 4 people golf clapped. Okay. So it was a lot of pressure to perform, and I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot every day.
Yep. As we all are, right? So just to kind of finish it out a little bit, if somebody is watching this, hopefully lots of people are watching this, but how would they contact you and so on and so forth? I mean, is it sign up on a website? Is it give a call? What kind of things would if you were talking to people in St. Louis, how would they get a hold of you for what you offer?
Sure, coast to coast. I mean, and internationally too, you can reach out to us on our website, sievekinginc.com. Maybe you guys can show that at the end of this. Our phone number is 636-677-4355. We do have a chat feature on our website, so we respond to those very quickly. Just reach out to us, call, text, shoot up a flare, send an email, whatever. Talk to our people. You'll very rarely get an automated attendant, and if you get that, it'll be after hours. There are emergency numbers there. People call and need our help, we'll come running.
Okay.
Jim, I appreciate your time today. It's been a very interesting view into your business, pretty unique business, and it's been interesting to learn from you and get your perspective. So thanks for your time today.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you guys.
Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.
You as well. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.